the Tattoo City Flint Tattoo Convention on the Inkwell podcast, and I've got a very super awesome special guest, my friend Sydney Mulvaney here. Sydney, welcome to the Inkwell.
Hey, so happy to be here. Thank you for asking me to do this.
No problem.
I'm super nervous.
Don't be nervous.
I'm excited.
Check it out. We can do goofy stuff like
Yay!
a sweet applause. Or, you know, if it's like really lame,
I
we
want
can
them to
go
boo
like...
me. I'm used to that one.
So anyway, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me how you got started tattooing, what got you in the industry and everything.
Okay. The honest one or the one that I tell my clients?
Well, it's a tattoo podcast, so you
Yeah.
got to be a little real with it.
Okay, so in high school, obviously, I feel like all of us were bad in high school.
Fuck yeah,
That's why
we
we're
were.
here, right?
Fuck yeah.
So I wanted to get into, I was always an artist, but I wanted to do something with art as a career, obviously, but there's no ways to make money as an artist.
Fuck
it's hard.
no.
And no one wants to be a starving artist trying to like sell your art and your paintings and stuff.
Right.
So I'm like, I was at an art show at my high school that they throw every year. I still go to it, actually. I've been graduated for 10 years. I still go back every year.
Nice.
But Nick Stopford, a local tattoo artist, he went there because his niece went to the same school as me. And I literally asked him, I said, he's like, oh, I'm a tattoo artist. I said, I always wanted to do that, but does it make any money? And he said, well, I have a boat, I own a shop. And I'm like, oh shit, do you want an apprentice? And that's kind of how it started. And I quit that one after like 3 months because I was 17 years old. I was a shithead.
Oh, so you were just a
kid.
baby.
Yeah, I was fresh out of high school. So I quit there, and then I went to another local shop in town, got fired after 3 months.
What were you doing
Dude,
to get fired?
I was such a shithead.
Were you like lighting the buildings on fire
Pretty
or
much.
something? Clogging up the toilet?
I dumped an entire coffee on the Thermofax machine and broke it in like my first week. They didn't fire me for that. I can't believe it.
I would have fired you for
I
that.
was dropping gloves on the ground. I dropped an entire dirty tray on the ground.
Were you like Ricky Bobby? I don't know what to do with my
Literally,
hands.
it was so bad. It was so bad. So, got fired from that one, and then I had my third apprenticeship, and that one finally stuck.
Nice.
Finally, yeah. So
who was that with?
That was with Nick Hartung.
Raven.
Yes. R.I.P. We fucking love
R.I.P.
him.
We love you, bud.
We love him. Miss him every day. He literally gave me everything I have. I appreciate him so much.
Hell yeah.
There's nothing like that, like mentor connection. You know what I mean?
Right. Even though, like, my mentor, Eric Mitchell,
Yeah.
he was so hard on me and he was such an ass to me
They
and stuff.
gotta be.
I still have so much respect for the guy
So
because
much.
I had an old school apprenticeship.
Yeah,
Is that
me
kind of
too.
how yours
He was so old school. He wasn't though. He was a young guy, but he loved the old school ways,
Right.
and that's how he acted, and that's how he treated everything.
Right. And I think some of that's important still to maintain in our industry.
For sure.
You know, I've noticed a lot of apprentices these days, they're not getting a lot of the traditions instilled in
kind
them.
of respect of it.
Right,
It's a thing.
exactly.
So I had my first apprenticeship recently. Jillian, she's an amazing artist. She just won her first
She's-
award this weekend.
Did she?
Dude,
She's
I'm
so
proud of
freaking
her.
cool. She's so cool. I love her art so much.
I'm so proud. It's like, I feel like she's my child.
I know, and you're like
Oh.
birthing her into the tattoo
Yes.
world.
Oh, I'm so proud of her. But yeah, apprentices are hard to do, and I tried to give her some of those like traditional things I learned from Nick, and she got to meet Nick and watch him tattoo, so she got to absorb some of that like amazing.
Nick kind of referred to her as his grandbaby.
Yes, because he calls me his daughter.
And you were his firstborn.
Yes, the
He always
firstborn.
The
Oh my
firstborn. He always
God.
referred to you
I'll
as
miss
that.
seeing those posts on Facebook. Like once a year, he'd make me a
Oh,
cute
yeah.
little post.
And it would be like on your anniversary
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, he was great about upholding the traditions and everything like that.
He was.
So now, how long now have you been tattooing?
So it'll be 10 years in March.
10 years.
10 years?
So are you going to do something to celebrate?
Dude, I have to, because me and Kristen, another girl that works at my shop, we have the same anniversary.
Oh, really?
So I know, I'm like, we have to have a 10-year tattoo party.
Hell yeah, invite me.
Yeah, you can come. Because I feel like the 10-year mark is like so important when you first start.
It really is.
You always think, where am I going to be in 10 years?
Right.
You know?
And once you have that 10 years, you're like, okay, it's kind of like being a professor at a college. You're like, I got my tenure. And,
You got my tenure.
You know? It gives you like that
I thought I'd be better by now.
self-credibility. Oh, my God. Everybody, she's fucking awesome.
We'll do another 10 years. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll come back in 10 years and see how much even more awesome you are.
Exactly. Thank
so,
you.
Real
Back at
quick,
you.
tell me about how you started your studio called The Studio.
The studio. Again, do you want like the honest, like there's like a nice way to say things and then there's not?
I mean, whatever you're comfortable
Okay,
with.
okay. So I had worked at a bunch of shops around Saginaw, all great, but you always see a crumble happen. And I feel like a lot of it happens based around money.
Yes.
And I felt that some percentage-based shops can be quite exploitive. to the artists, and I was like, I want to make a studio where it's a private studio concept, but everybody still works together like a traditional shop, right? So I wanted to do a booth rent, and I made the booth rent a very, plausible rate.
Reasonable.
And just, yeah, thank you. I probably used the wrong word. And I just kind of threw that out there and saw who, bit, and it turned into this, giant machine of, a bunch of beautiful ladies that all wanted to, I didn't mean to make it all women. It just turned out that way.
Well, and you've got a great thing going on. You've got a great crew.
Thank
You've
you
got
so
much talent in your building. It's freaking awesome. You guys are killing it.
We get along so well, too. It's so much fun. You'd think with all girls it'd be a little catty, but it's not.
No.
There's no egos.
I was talking with Angie Akimi yesterday, and she was just saying how it just flows and everything
So
just
good.
works, and you guys all just vibe off each other, and you have this good energy where you guys are all putting out your own styles and your own work and everything, but a little bit of that still kind of trickles over to everybody, and you can pick up from each other. It sounds like such a cool environment.
And it's cool, and we come and go as we please, and it's like someday you're tattooing and everyone's there and you have that lively shop energy.
Yeah.
And then some days you walk in and you're the only one working that day. So
and it's
just
very chill and intimate. That's awesome. That's so freaking cool.
Yeah, you never know what it's going to be each day, and it's fun.
So do you got any big plans for the future? Anything on your radar? Or are you just kind of rolling with it?
I want to do more conventions. I did them a lot, from 2016 to 2019. And then Flint last year was my first one since 2019, and it lit a fire in me. I'm like, oh, I miss this.
I know, me too.
I miss it so much.
I did this one. Yeah, this one was my first one back in 10 years. I hadn't done shows in 10 years. And since then I did this. I did Asheville, North Carolina.
Cool.
I did Philly. Have you done the Philly show?
No, I've heard it's so
good. Oh my God, it's so cool. You should do it. I
God.
think it's in January.
Okay.
It's
I'm gonna
huge.
look into it.
It's huge. And then I did Motor City, and now back at this one.
Oh, how do you get into Motor City?
You got to know people.
Oh my God.
You got to know people.
Hey, who is it? Call me.
Talk to Joe.
Really? Okay.
Talk to Joe Lash. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
He's got a great in with people in the Motor City. Circuit, convention
I got
circuit.
to work it 1 year because of Wayne Mosier. Do you know who Wayne is?
Yes,
Wayne
I
and
know
Jack?
Wayne. Yeah.
Oh,
my gosh, I love their work.
They're amazing, right? And so Wayne had a pull with some of the guys that throw it. And they said, you guys, you're new, because he had a new shop at the time. It was called Lunar Eclipse. He said, you guys can come work it. But Wayne, you have to do at least one tattoo. And Wayne wasn't really tattooing at the time.
Right.
So he did. He was like, I will do this for you guys. I'll bite the bullet and I'll do a tattoo. He's been retired now, but he tattooed for 25 plus years,
Yeah. And, well, he was working on the illustration stuff for a while too, right?
Yeah.
The books. I
his
remember.
brother Jack has a bunch of amazing. I think
The
it's
dragons and everything.
Traditional Japanese
Yes.
style.
I mean,
Yes.
he lives his life traditional Japanese
Absolutely.
pretty much.
Do you follow him on Instagram?
Oh, I do.
Oh
I do.
my God.
His whole lifestyle is like that.
I like how
he wears
raunchy
the,
they are too.
Yeah. He wears the ninja slippers and whatnot,
The whole
and
thing.
he dresses kimono,
Yeah,
everything
that's his
carries
life. Yeah.
And I find it so fascinating, and that's why I love supporting art like that,
Yeah.
because he breathes that
I know.
art and that lifestyle into all of his pieces.
sure.
So when I left Michigan years ago, it was 14 years ago, something like that, and I lived in Indiana and worked at a shop down there called Point Blank, and then it turned into Stillhouse Tattoo. I brought a bunch of the Jack Mosier books with me and turned all those guys onto them, and they were blown away. I'm like, check these out. This dude's from Michigan, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my people,
I never even got to meet Jack, but I'm still very good friends with Wayne.
I met him briefly.
Yes. I mean, does he even exist? You know what I mean?
I know, right? So
he's just a myth at this point, a legend.
Yeah, I know. Unless you see him on Instagram,
Right,
but
yeah.
That could just be
That could be
somebody
anyone.
posing at
What if it's
somewhere
just been
whatnot.
Wayne the whole time?
This is my fake brother.
He didn't
It's
want
really
the
just
fame,
somebody that
yeah.
he follows or something. He catfished them or
Yeah,
whatever,
for real.
So tell all my listeners and everything out there a little bit about your style, and then we'll wrap this up and let you get back to having a good time at the convention.
I absolutely love doing black and gray realism, lady faces in particular. It's my favorite thing to do. I'm also, people always tell me I'm good at color, but I hate doing it.
Yeah.
I have 4 clients left that still get color from me, and I'm like, why do you guys keep booking? Come on,
What
let's get
about
black and gray.
color infused black and gray?
So
I saw that. I saw the
Yeah.
cat that you did on your fiance, and it's
Yes.
awesome.
my fiance gets so mad because when we met, I was really into color. So I did his whole sleeve in color, and now he's stuck with color tattoos to match his sleeve. And he's like, you don't even like doing color anymore, and I'm stuck with all your old shit.
Well, as artists, we go through our seasons
We
and
do,
everything.
we do.
So, tell everybody how we can find you. Social media.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, and it's Sydney Tattoos. Oh no, it's Sydney Mulvaney Tattoos.
Sydney Mulvaney
Sydney
Tattoos
Mulvaney
on
Tattoos.
Instagram.
Yep. Our Facebook page, mine's just Sydney Mulvaney on Facebook, or the studio on Facebook is my shop. And then on TikTok, are you on the TikTok-y?
I'm on the TikTok. I follow you on the TikTok-y.
Oh, yeah, I follow you too, I think.
I love your TikToks. They're freaking hilarious.
It's so embarrassing.
Come do a tattoo with me.
Isn't it? It's despicable.
It's so fun, though.
I know. I feel so old on that app, and I'm trying so hard.
I feel old doing this. I'm like, hey, kids, let me
No,
show you how
podcasts are very millennial. Yeah, we're safe in the podcast realm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, TikTokies are for the Gen Zs, and they're so much cooler than us, and I want to be Gen Z so bad. I love them. People hate them, I love them.
I'm going to say, like, maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah,
Bit of both, you know, kind of like the Gen X / millennials, the Xennials they were calling them.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be like
I
a
can keep track of all this.
Zillennial or something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know.
No, do you post TikToks?
I'm trying to. I'm trying to be better. I've got like 4 up
Okay,
right now.
I'm gonna go watch them after this. But every time I
They're
post
lame.
one, I never watch it again because I know I'll
really?
delete it. I'll delete it. I'll be so embarrassed.
So you just let it. You just
put
like
it into the ether and I walk away.
It's kind of like that age-old saying, you know, it doesn't have to be great.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start in order to be great.
Exactly.
So you just get it out there. Somebody's gonna
Push
like
it out. Somebody will like it.
Probably,
Yeah.
you know, even if there's haters, you ignore
Yep.
the haters. You don't let the haters
Yep.
fuel what
Oh,
you do.
for sure.
You let all the positivity charge
Oh my God,
you.
I've gotten one hate comment on TikTok and it ruined my entire week.
Oh my God, I had
deleted
one
it.
too. And then I stalked that guy's profile. I'm like, he's not that cool.
Yeah, like, leave me
And it was
alone.
just some dude. I posted like an American flag and he just commented like, this isn't it. And I was just like, fuck that guy.
So mean.
I know.
Yeah,
Like, why you
they
gotta
told
say
me,
that?
They said your line work sucks.
Her line
How
work
dare
does
you?
not suck.
Yeah, I deleted the comment because I'm a baby.
Shut up, guys.
No.
I hate you all.
Yeah, it was
I'm
so
never
sad.
posting again.
Never. Yeah.
Sweet. I'll put links on everything.
Thank
I'll
you.
put like cool little graphics and everything, make it look all cool millennial-y, and
Make sure to
check
add the sound effects.
Oh yes, the
It's a party now.
that's what we do like when Sydney does line work. Or we could, what else do we got here?
I love these.
Oh, that's some jams right there. And then I did this one for Sharky Steve.
Oh my God. I love that.
Isn't it awesome?
I want one of these.
Thank you so much for coming and talking with me
Thank
and being on the
you.
podcast. I'll make you look awesome, I promise.
You gotta edit me good.
Oh, I will. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy myself over there.
That would be amazing. Like, wow, Sydney looks really good today.
Well, cool. Go back and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank
Stop by,
you.
say hi some more, drag people
This
over
was
here.
so fun.
I told
I
you.
liked it way more than I thought I would.
I told you.
I like hearing my voice on my headphones.
I know it's way cooler, like in your head. It doesn't sound like a recording, you know,
No.
like when you're recorded like on camera and stuff. You're like, I sound so stupid,
Yeah.
and that's why everybody
you don't
says.
hear that here.
Yeah, exactly. So tell Leah Luna
I will.
because she's so scared to come on because she doesn't like the sound of her voice.
I'll tell her because I was scared too.
But I told her I was like, I'm gonna make you sound good,
Yeah.
deep, radio-like.
Oh my God. I
All
love
right.
it.
Well, you
thank
go
again.
enjoy the rest of the day,
I will,
and
you
thank
too.
you so much. So, all right, everybody, back on the Inkwell podcast here. I got my boy, Mr. Travis Crosley. Did I
everybody.
pronounce your last name right, Crosley?
Yeah, you got it
All
right.
Yeah, we're at the Tattoo City Flint Tattoo Convention here. This man right here made all this possible for all of us artists here that are attending, and this is a freaking great show. I've been having a blast all weekend. Everybody I bump into are like, man, I can't wait to come back last year. So what got you started now? This is the 3rd year for this show, and it's been growing every year since I've been to it.
Oh yeah, so first year, a lot of people don't know that Flint, Michigan is the most tattooed city per capita on the planet.
No shit.
Yeah, we have like the strongest tattoo community in the world. It's huge,
Hell yeah.
and
And it's a good community too.
Yeah, like we are pretty tight, you know, all of us, and we've never had a show, and I think we deserve one. And so Amber and I were like, well, what can we do to make that happen? And obviously my first call was to Kyle and Candy Dunbar.
Hell yeah.
You know, they've been doing shows forever, and they know everything and everyone. And I'm like, look, Amber and I have some extra capital. This is what we want to do. And the first thing Kyle said was, you need to call Carl Murray. and I called Carl, and we started kind of with a rough idea, and by the time we were ready to pull the trigger, we had 90 days to put the show together.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, how was that?
Oh, dude.
Did you sleep at all?
No, not even a little bit. And it was a wild ride, bro. It was rewarding, but we knew we had a long road ahead of us, Flint is not like a very welcoming place.
By history and everything, but
Yeah.
I lived in Flint for like 5 years before I ended up moving back to my hometown, Bay City.
Nice.
And when I lived here, man, like I'll always have a part of me that like part of my heart's always in Flint,
Yeah, so that's what, like, we love Flint, right? Like the community is so awesome here.
Dude, I just got goosebumps just thinking about when I
Yeah.
lived here, man. It's still very special to me.
It is, but that's not what people from the outside see.
No, everybody from the outside sees like Flint's like, oh man, it's rough and they got bad water
Yep.
and there's crime. It's like that everywhere though.
Yeah. Well, and that was another thing too, is like, we're like, how can we rebrand Flint for everybody that has an idea of what they think Flint is, as opposed to what it actually is.
Right.
And it's like, dude, let's get the people here, get them to fall in love with the city like we did, and at the same time show people what tattooing is really about, as opposed to what they think it's about.
Yeah, man.
You know what I
and
mean?
you're doing a great job with it, bro.
Thank you.
Seriously, like this is a great show that you put together, and I know you're working hard. I seen you running around this weekend, and you're getting pulled in 100,000 different directions, but you do it so gracefully, and you're doing such a great job with it.
Oh, dude, thank you. We have in Candy Dunbar and Kyle Dunbar and Carl Murray the best possible help I could imagine. My wife, Amber Crosley, she's a huge help. So, I mean, that does help take a lot of the stresses off of my shoulders. But
Having a good team that, you can help you delegate other tasks and everything like that, so you can focus on what you need to, and then you can delegate some tasks, as you see fit, to who's going to be best at it to make the best show possible,
Yeah, and really, we've all just kind of slid into these roles that we're strong at, right? So it's like, Candy's so good at organizing everything and putting together these little mini events within the event, and the competitions and all the cool shit we do, and it just comes naturally to her, on top
man.
of like the marketing. So she just slid into that role.
And it just helps like make everything probably so much easier for you to focus on, your skill set and everything, and getting everything else put together.
Yeah, for sure. So I've always been good at like the business side of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like putting the systems in place so the show can have the finances it needs to happen, because it's expensive. you know?
Yeah. I mean, getting a venue like this is a huge venue, man.
Yeah.
I'm sure I don't even want to ask how much it costs and everything. And then, your pricing and figuring out your numbers to make it possible, to make it sustainable, so it can continue to happen and continue to grow every year.
Yep.
There's so much that goes into planning a show that, a lot of people out there just think it just happens magically and you just go to it, and but that's not how it goes, everybody. This man right here is work. You said you start planning for next year's show, what, in like a week or two?
Yeah, so we'll start planning for 2024 next week.
And then you just go all year?
All year, yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
If you need any help at all, I would love to help you out in any way that I can for next year, bro.
I will take you up on that, I promise.
So now, how does that cut into like your schedule at your shop and everything?
Oh, dude, so a lot of...
Tell everybody the name of your shop too, by the way.
Oh, yeah, so I own Millennial Ink in Grand Blanc here. If you're ever in the area and you want a world-class tattoo experience, feel free to stop in. But I set out to be an artist before anything. That's always been my passion. That's what I love. And then when the shop was born, it took me away from the art a lot, right? Because now I'm an owner. I have to build an environment that the artists can succeed in, and make a place that the clients can feel comfortable in, and all these things that are like business related but not tattoo related.
Right.
So now I don't get to focus as much on my art, and sometimes that makes me sad. you know.
So did you like drop down days or anything with your tattoo schedule? Did you kind of reduce that so you can still keep like the same quality of work and everything without spreading yourself too thin, just so you give yourself enough time to focus on like the business side of things, and then that allows you less days tattooing but still pumping out the same quality?
Yeah, and that alone was like a process, figuring out what that ratio is, because there was a lot of times where I would be working on stuff for the show and then stuff for the shop. You know, I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm going to bed at midnight, and I'm tattooing in between. You know.
Damn.
Yeah. So there was a good like 6-8 months where I'm like, I have to figure out a new way.
Plus, you got your family and everything,
Yeah.
man.
We got 4 kids. You know, our oldest, she's on her junior year at Michigan State. She's doing awesome, but. So she's at college most of the year anyway, but our next, he's a diesel mechanic, but he still lives at home with us. And then we have a 15-year-old that's starting high school, and then a 7-year-old. You know,
Yeah, man.
It's a lot.
Mad props to that, dude, because I
Thanks,
juggle
brother.
the dad life too, and
yeah.
in this industry, you know, it can be very taxing on not just yourself but your family as well. You know, like, and you have to have like that right balance of work, family, life. You know, as they say out there, I forget exactly how it goes, but you know, finding that, and it seems like you're gracefully doing it, my friend.
Oh, thank you. So it doesn't feel like it a lot of times.
No, I know. Shit, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going to bed at midnight.
Yeah.
You must have like a coffee pot in your back pocket or something.
Yeah,
man.
lots of coffee all the time. I think too, I just naturally don't sleep a lot, so that helps, you know. But at the end of the day, like if you gotta have your family life right, you know.
Yeah, man.
So like I make sure that we take the time to do that. My wife is amazing at helping with all of these things, you know. So she's been a barber for 15 years, and she loves her career. She takes it very seriously, and she stepped away from that a couple of years back to help with the shop and everything. And just this year, we were finally able to get her own barber shop so she could get back to it.
Oh yeah, that's an amazing woman right there that you got, man. Hold on to her tight.
Oh yeah, for sure. She's a saint, and I'm lucky to have her. But I feel like you almost have to prioritize that sometimes.
Absolutely, because you have to have all those avenues in your life melding and meshing well together so you can keep that machine rolling smoothly and everything.
Well, you're an artist, so you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The balance can be really overwhelming sometimes, and sometimes I personally just need, like, I'll have a overwhelming day at work because our shop, it can, we'll have all the artists in there. We'll have 8 artists in there plus the clients, and we have an open floor plan, so everybody's talking back and forth and feeding off the energy, and it's almost like you're on stage, like doing a performance, so everybody can have a really good experience. But then at the end of the day, you get home, and I'm just like peopled out. I'm like like just mentally drained. I need like an hour, and sometimes I'll just turn off all the lights. I'll chill on the couch and just space out for about an hour. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I just need that decompression moment, and then I'm right back into it. But after 20 years, you kind of figure out how to roll with it.
Yeah.
So what do you got planned for the future? Do you got anything big coming up with the shop, or you and I were talking the other day, like some ideas that you got for like the show moving forward and everything. So do you have anything that you want to share with people?
Yeah, I mean, the plan is to always grow, right? Like we want to push it and grow it every year and make it as amazing as possible. We do have some things coming down the pipe, hopefully with some televised events like you and I talked about.
Yeah.
We're super excited about that. Actually, I think my boy is here right now, Chris from Breathing Canvas. He owns the syndication network.
Yeah, I briefly spoke with him this week, and I haven't had time to really go sit down and talk with him. I've been wanting to, but he's been busy. I've been busy running around, so we'll get a chance to link up at some point. But I'm really eager to talk to him and pick his brain on a couple things.
Yeah, super fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, man.
Really just mellow, laid back. He's an artist as well, so he understands, like the industry and everything like that. And just really cool dude. And he's got a unique opportunity for artists to get themselves out there. in a way that really hasn't been taken into consideration until now.
I think that's why him and I are interested in linking up and talking to each other, because that's the whole reason why I started the podcast, was to get some artists out there that I feel deserve more recognition than what they're getting, and shine light on people like yourself that put so much work in to do this for our industry, to grow the industry. And man, I appreciate it so much, because this guy, you could have cheaped out on so much, but I noticed like little things with your show and things that you put in, like the freaking lanyards and everything this year, man. Just the quality of stuff, and these are things that artists like to hold on to.
Yeah.
And it's like like a badge of, this is a show that I did, and to have a nice one like this, man, this is going to be hanging in front of all my other ones, that are just like in a little plastic paper thing, and they fade over time. This is nice, and I appreciate little things like this, because I know it costs extra to do that.
Oh, yeah.
But I know that's what you want to present to artists here, to attract better artists for the good experience. And man, I seen you running around all weekend, and you're tending to everything. There was that flood Friday night with the storm coming in through the doors, and I saw you out there with a squeegee, man. You're right there for everything, and that you don't see that with a lot of guys that put on shows, and I just want to let you know that it doesn't go unnoticed, and we're all very appreciative of you, man.
Dude, thank you so much for saying that, first of all, because I thought I was going to get jumped in the parking lot after the flood, I'm like, these guys, they're here, they want to fucking compete and hang out, and here we are, we got water just blowing in.
Well, it's not like you can control the weather, and it's not like you were out there with a fucking garden hose just spraying it in at everyone, like, fuck these assholes.
And that's how I feel too, but sometimes it's like, as the guy that puts all this on, at the end of the day, it does fall on my shoulders.
Absolutely.
So like, I didn't know, but everybody has been so cool about it, and like, I'm so appreciative of that. You know?
Man. Well, because you're looking out for everybody's best interest, like, you called the show like maybe a half hour early or something like that Friday night, because the water was freaking coming in. You're like, and you had Carl make the announcements and everything for everybody's better interest and safety, because they needed to cut the power so they could get the water out, because they didn't want anything to short out or
somebody get zapped, or heaven forbid a client get hurt, or
or
whatever,
slip, fall on the floor. You handled it great, man. Like seriously, so great. And I thought, like, how you guys moved Tattoo of the Day to the next afternoon, that was so fair for everyone. It gave everybody enough time to kind of accommodate with their clients and prepare for that, Freak of nature happened, and dude, you handled it with grace.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think we all, dude, I seen artists grabbing squeegees and helping out.
Yeah, dude.
And like, dude, it was like the whole convention just like came together. And that was like a really awesome moment. It sucked because of the flood, obviously.
Right.
But to see everybody like come together and unify like that, like, dude, disasters can sometimes bring out the worst, but to see it bring out the best, like, that was fucking awesome.
Hell
dude.
yeah, dude. It reminded me of kind of like, you used to use coil machines, right?
Yeah. Well, not very long, but yes, I did. Yeah.
Well, some of my memories of coil machines, like, you'd be running and like, remember how you'd have to tune them and everything?
Oh yeah.
And if like your machine went out or something, like all of a sudden the whole shop would like flock to that station. Like, what? Okay, is it your springs? Is it your contact screws? Your clip cord? Check your clip cord. Yeah. Everybody's sitting there dissecting it like on an operating table, trying to help you out. But that's what this tattoo community is about. It's to help everybody thrive. We all push each other. We get friendly competition and everything. We all get a little competitive. But when there's like something where everybody has to pull together, this community. From everything I've seen, everybody pulls together because we're all in this boat together, man.
Yeah,
and we're all trying to push it forward.
Dude, 1,000, like, that's really well said, dude, because it's like the rising tide will raise all ships.
Exactly, man.
You know what I mean? And we like come together. And that's really like what Tattoo City was about, was like just showing people that.
Right, man. Because you can go fast by yourself, but you can go far together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I explained people, because when we first had the convention, year one, there was a lot of shops that were like, dude, I don't want a bunch of out-of-town artists like sniping my clients,
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, bud, what we're going to do is we're going to raise awareness about tattoos, right? So on any given day, we had, at the time when we had Tattoo City #1, it was like 0.4% of the population on any given day was getting tattooed, like actively seeking tattoos.
Yeah.
After Tattoo City #1, it went up, not a ton, but it went up to like 0.4% or
Right.
whatever.
So
you know,
you saw an increase.
an increase in the amount of people that were actively seeking tattoos on a daily, right? And I think what it is tattoos, everybody's interested in them. They're in like the 90th percentile in every demographic.
Yeah, the industry's bigger than it's ever been right now, and it's great.
Yeah.
And it's great how it's evolving, the media has helped sensationalize it, which is shine light on all of us to turn our passions into a sustainable future for our families. You know?
Yeah, because really, I mean, even now, it's hard because there's no retirement in tattooing, you know?
There is, like, if you work your ass off
Yeah.
and set it up for yourself, which,
Yep.
I'd like to eventually do a whole episode on helping other artists out there, like, get that direction or at least get that inspiration to set themselves up for the future, to
Yeah.
take that stress off the back of their mind, because it eats at a lot of people, like,
Yeah.
shit, I got this knot in my pocket, but once that's gone, like, what am I
Yeah.
going to do when I can't hold the machine anymore,
Yep.
bro? Like, little bit stocked aside, it helps,
Dude, I would be 100% down to come on here and have that conversation with you because
yeah.
we've been trying to set up like, artists setting up their own 401ks and getting their like insurance, making sure that they're, filing their taxes annually so
Yeah.
they can get their mortgages. I mean, with the amount of money that most of us make, there's no reason why we shouldn't have everything we want in this life.
Right, exactly, man. I have a financial advisor now, and he's
Yeah.
a good friend of mine. And I suggested to him that he maybe try to funnel his expertise into the tattoo community,
Yeah.
so he can be, a beacon of hope for retirement for a lot of tattoo artists and everything
Yeah.
out there, And he's kind of trying to specialize in that, and he's kind of getting in the cannabis industry too,
Yep.
for retirement and insurance and things like that.
Yep.
But I'd love to sit down and have that conversation with you and possibly him at the same time, and
Yeah.
like get a lot of information out there for artists, to show that there is a way to do it where you're not living broke or anything either.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to stress out about the future and stuff, man.
Well, for us, it's like, so last year I crashed my motorcycle in June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because last year at the show, you were on that little scooter and everything with the cast and everything.
Yeah.
Like last year, I talked to you briefly, but, I didn't want to overwhelm you or anything, because you were already having to do the show. You had the broken leg and
Yeah.
everything. You had the entourage of people always coming up to you and stuff, so I didn't want to overwhelm you too much. But I'm really happy we got to sit down and talk this year. And,
Yeah.
moving forward, I'm super excited to see where Tattoo City goes from here, man.
Oh, dude, me too. And really, it's you. It's like everybody that attends is what makes this show fucking awesome. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I can provide the opportunity, but it's everybody that's in attendance that truly makes this show amazing, and I hope it continues to grow.
Well, I'm gonna get it out there to all my listeners and followers and everything, and try and do everything I can to help promote such a great show. What are some of the links that everybody can find information about the Tattoo City show and your shop and all your
Okay.
socials as well? You go ahead and tell everybody, and I'll make sure I put all the links and everything down, and beep, 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 beep,
Hell yeah.
do that video stuff that they do on YouTube.
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
tell everybody how they can find you.
So if you go to tattoocitytatcon.com, that'll have all Tattoo City stuff, or the Tattoo City Convention Instagram, or our Facebook that has everything on there, and we'll continue to update that even in the off season. We do have some really cool events coming up in the off season, just to kind of promote it and keep it in the front of everyone's mind. And then Millennial Link, Grand Blank, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook. We have our website too, millenniallinktattoo.com. You can check us out there. I really appreciate you having me on the podcast,
Dude,
man.
I am so ecstatic to have you on. Thank you so much.
Dude.
It's so great to work together and to just, leave the industry better than we found it, and, push it forward, man.
Dude, absolutely. And honestly, man, I couldn't be happier with everything that I see. I mean, I look around and I see all these great things. Like this podcast that you have set up here is fucking awesome, dude.
And we're right across from Tattoo Saved My Life.
Yeah.
I'm going to have Brandon Strongberg and Josh Short on later today after
Nice.
they're done doing their thing and talk about that and just all the great things happening, dude. I get goosebumps just like thinking about how, because I love tattooing. I know tattooing loves me, and I want to always give back.
Yeah.
You know, and give back for the next generations and everything, you know, see it keep growing.
It's crazy. So, like, the majority of the artists that I meet feel the same as you as I do. Like, we want to give back to the industry.
Yeah.
But occasionally I've come across, like, one or two people that all they want to do is take from this industry, right?
Yeah.
Like, owners that have never tattooed or, like, have never been in the position of an artist, right? And they have, like, these, you know, ridiculous splits that put artists in hard positions, and like it's like, dude, you're just hurting these artists that are already struggling.
That's
you know?
where we all band together, and we choke those weeds out.
And that's
you
usually
got
what
to yank
happens.
those weeds out of our garden, man.
Yep. And it's up to us as the artists. You're absolutely right, dude.
Hell yeah.
1,000%. I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Hell yeah, me too, bro. I can't wait to sit down and talk with you again. Maybe we'll do it like a financing, kind of one in the future, bro.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being on, man. I'll let you get back to it.
All right.
Travis
thanks, man.
Crosley, everybody. We've got Kristen Prosser from the studio, Sydney Mulvaney's shop in Saginaw, Michigan, and we're here live but recorded at the Tattoo City Tattoo Convention in Flint, Michigan. What's up? Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah, bro. What's up? So her voice sounds a little distressed because she is a metalhead and she's been going to the shows like crazy and
I think I scream at these shows. Like, it just makes it worse anyway. You have to scream over
well,
everything.
fuck yeah. Well, because it's death metal. If you're not screaming, are you even at a concert?
No, when I was saying even the tattoo conventions, people
yeah.
just think I lost my voice from this because that happens to a lot of people.
Well, and here we are right next to the freaking
Right.
stage. But, you know, I wanted to set up here because I wanted to hear a little bit of the energy from, you know, the convention and everything. I talked to Travis when I was trying to set this up. He's like, are you sure you want to be, like, out there and everything? I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I don't want to be in the back tucked away where nobody knows I'm back there and it's just quiet. I can do that at home. I want podcasts at the convention.
Right.
Make it noisy and stuff. I'm going to have to delete all this because you can't hear me. No, no, it's turning out really good. So anyway, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell my audience a little bit about yourself. How'd you get in the industry and everything?
Oh, well, I grew up in Saginaw, Sagnasty, and a lot of my friends were kind of hung out in Old Town, you know, parking lot hangouts, and Drunken Monkey as a shop there was right in the center of all of it, and we all got our first tattoos there. All of the artists were kind of fixtures in our community. They ended up being friends. And over time, you know, you get to go to the New Year's Eve parties. And I've always been an artist. And my husband's best friend, Rick Rain, is a phenomenal tattooer.
Oh, yeah, he is.
And
I remember Rick.
I know. It's just, I'm so proud to have come from under his wing. But he's a fucking dick. No, I'm just joking. But still talk to him all the time. But I begged him for a job. I was just so impressed with the artistry. I knew tattoos were art, but just to see the world changing so much at that point.
Yeah.
So I begged him for a job, and he inevitably, begrudgingly gave in. And but it was always so much fun working over there. And Byron Cronkrite was the owner there, and Sean Yancer, and all of them was like my first.
I haven't
Is that
heard
a
that name.
flashback?
Yeah, I haven't heard Sean Yancer's name in a while, man.
I know. So
You just dated myself there.
I know, it's weird how quickly the industry moves. Anytime anyone knows these monsters in my life, it makes me feel at home because they really took me in and changed my life.
That's that's awesome. And you know, for a lot of the people out there that don't know these guys that we're talking of, they're like local legends for us.
Yeah.
You know, and they've been in our local tattoo community. They like help pave the road for all of us that came after them, you know?
Yeah. I think a lot of my direction as an artist was forged in that first shop with trying to be creative and dude, you got to be able to draw at least one good skull, and just the foundations there that I'm not sure everybody experiences were important to me.
And that's, I've talked with some artists now about how the industry's been changing and how I feel that a lot of the tradition is very important to hold on to in our industry. And I feel some of it is getting left behind, and it saddens my heart. I'm happy to see the industry evolving, but I don't want to see it evolve at the expense of tradition and where we've all come from. That foundation needs to be there. That's what we're building on, and that still needs to be there. I feel like, apprentices these days, they're coming out of the gate. They're like, oh, I only specialize in this, and I'm going to open my own private studio and fuck everybody.
Right. I mean, they taught me to do everything, and I got hazed, but it was kind of fun. Like, I tell some of the stories. I remember at a party, because they used to throw these massive parties to fundraise for people that needed, like, fundraisers, whatever, and they'd always do crazy stuff. And I remember Rick just being like, chug, there's a bag of hot dog water from the barbecue. He's like, chug this. And I didn't even for a second stop. Like, I'm in it. Like, I am serious. I need to prove that I'm serious. I remember chugging this hot dog water, and it was so bad with salt. My lips were like a margarita. And, like, I tell people that, they're like, oh, my God, that's so cruel. I'm like, I was so proud to make them laugh. Like, but I don't know. I guess I feel different as an artist now, but then I just wanted to, like, give back to them. Like, it was such a... I feel like Byron especially was kind of like a samurai, not like a samurai, but he took it seriously that he was my teacher, and I appreciated that. So did Rick, man. But,
I feel it's so important, and for a lot of artists out there that are taking on apprentices, it's okay to haze.
Yeah.
Like, it is okay to haze your fucking apprentices. I mean, don't beat the shit out of them with a broomstick and stuff, but, like, we used to do this thing where we'd put, like, stencil paper ink in, like, a glove with, like, A&D ointment squirted in a glove, and then stuff it back in their box, so then they slide it and they're like, oh, what the fuck, and then they'd have purple all and shit all up their hand. Just dumb shit like that, or fucking with them, like, putting olives in their, like, soda or something, just dumb shit like that. Like, you gotta haze them a little bit to, like, you gotta drink toilet water to get to get your rite of passage.
Well, I talk to a lot of younger artists, and a lot of them struggle with anxiety and stuff like this. And I always say, like, they fucked with me so bad that nothing here can ever make me anxious, like, at all.
Right.
So I do feel like all of it kind of had its purpose, but I guess I do see some mentors, I don't know, might abuse it. I feel like they did it in a way that helped me, or I at least used it,
There are some that take it way too far, and I absolutely agree with that. But at the same time, I think hazing is important because it helps fortify these apprentices that are going into because it is a hard industry, and your clients can be fucking rough. And like posting something on social media, people out there, haters, they can be so hard on you. And if you can handle being hazed, then you can handle anything that this industry is going to throw at you. That's why I feel it's so important. And, like, we've had, he's now tattooing full time, Nick Super. I have hazed that guy so hard, but also, like a week or so ago, he posted a piece, and it was a beautiful piece, and I was very proud to see that from him. And I even commented on his post. I'm like, Super, I won't give you any shit for this one. I'm proud of you, And then I said, see, all of me being hard on you is paying off,
Dude, like, every piece I drew, there was always either like a butthole, a dick, or a pussy in it, and it would just ruin the piece for me, and I have to redraw it. But, like, it was fun. I don't know. It's like, oh, you're right. There's a butthole.
It's like the glory days of tattooing. I don't want to see it be left behind,
I know.
And I want to have, and because we got fun stories like that, And I want to see this generation be able to have fun stories like that. Not like, oh yeah, so we all went to therapy together, and it was really just a great time.
I feel like, the art and everything, but the storytelling is almost what drew me into this world to begin with. If somebody can spin a good yarn, I'm just, like, entranced. I love the storytelling.
And you're just enthralled by it. You're like, man, that's going to be me one day.
Right.
I can't wait.
So.
I'm so happy to be a part of this,
Yeah.
I looked up to my mentors.
Me too. They had such legendary stories, and it's weird. I've been tattooing almost 10 years now, or about that point, and it's kind of weird to see things, like, from that perspective out. So
do you think it's weird, like, Because now you're almost 10 years in, so like you're seasoned now.
I think I might be.
Yeah, I think you might be a little seasoned
You
there.
hear all the spice in this voice.
Well, that's from traveling, doing shows, and doing concerts on top of it. And
I know
everything.
it's been 9 days straight of chaos.
Hell
and
yeah.
I feel like you kind of need to know, can I do it? And I feel like a lot of these shows feel that way. Like, can I do it? Can I pull people to get tattooed and make my money? And I think that's good practice.
Yeah, and then when, after a successful weekend and you're like reflecting back, you're like, man, I met all these cool people.
Yeah.
I made bank. I covered my booth and my like concession stand food.
Yeah.
I'm golden, and I had the time of my life. We stayed up way too late.
Exactly.
And that's where those stories start, and we're making those memories like right now, And I don't want to see that die in the industry,
No.
And I don't think it will ever.
I think this show has been one of my favorites I've ever been to. I
Isn't
don't
this
know,
one
it's just
great?
been
I've
a
had
great
such
time.
a blast.
I
I got to
agree.
talk to Travis earlier, and we talked about it a little bit. And like Friday, there was the flood here and everything. And I talked a little bit about that with like Sydney and everything. But everybody banded together, and I saw people with squeegees, like everybody's helping out and stuff.
yeah.
And we're like, no, you're not gonna ruin our good time.
I love that. Hell yeah. I think it's really amazing, the energy in this room. I haven't been to a ton of conventions. I'm going to try to do some more.
Travis is doing so good with this one.
I agree. I've never actually met Travis, but I'm really impressed with how this, and I love Flint, being from Saginaw, the rest of the state, like, talk shit, but damn, there's some fucking energy here. That's amazing.
There's some fire artists that come out of
It's
Flint,
been
man.
crazy looking around at all
Oh,
the
I
pieces
know.
today.
There's the one dude over there, I forget his name, but he's been cleaning up all weekend.
Holy shit,
He's
right?
just winning every award. I'm like, man, save
It's
something for the rest of
incredible.
us,
It's
dude.
incredible. I like the, jab it gives me, though. It's like,
Oh,
better
yeah.
step it up, bitch.
Did you enter anything in this weekend?
I did. I entered Most Unusual. My buddy Justin actually got second place with one of the funniest tattoos I've ever seen. It's like a chicken wing pussy with like juice going on. It's so
Hopefully
fucking
no
funny.
hot sauce
He deserved
on
it.
it.
It's got sauce. It's got sauce.
Hell yeah.
He deserved it. I was like, take it. You're badass.
Yeah, because like when you see something like that, when you're like,
How
you
can
know
I
what,
even be
I don't,
mad?
I'm not even upset. Like, I'm
Right.
gonna go vote for that piece,
Right.
over my own.
I was loving it.
So, what kind of pieces you enjoy doing the most? Like, I'm familiar with your work, but for the people out there that aren't completely familiar with your work, what's the kind of style of tattoos that you enjoy working in the most?
I like to do like a crossroads between heavy metal art and nature. So it's like some of the darkest things I've ever seen were like things in nature. So I kind of try to tie those together. I love doing lots of texture. Also love like field guide art. So just kind of like death science. I don't know. So I'm trying to go down that direction, like stuff you would find on a hike that's terrifying.
Yeah,
I guess.
it's something you're kind of leaning into right now.
Yeah, it's kind of black work. I don't know. I do black and gray too, color, but I like a theme at least more so than
Dude, nature is brutal. Me and my girlfriend, we went on kayaking down the Cucullin River last month sometime, and we like stopped off on the side of the river so she could, go behind the trees and take a pee and everything. And then we hear these ducks just squawking like crazy across the river. So I paddle over there to see what's going on, and there was like these two muskrats murdering this fucking duck, and the duck's mate's like, fuck you, that's my girlfriend. And those muskrats ripped that duck's throat open and just were chowing on it, and it's still flopping around. I'm like, nature is so fucking brutal.
I didn't know muskrats ate ducks like that. They seem so unassuming when you see them
I don't-
swimming.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Have you ever tried duck though?
You know what? No, I haven't. Is
Fucking
it,
delicious.
Is it? Okay.
It's like chicken, but better.
Ooh.
It's so good. It's like dark meat turkey over the whole
I do
thing.
love a dark meat turkey. So that muskrat knew what was up.
Yeah.
So maybe he broke his diet.
So,
to
but
get in
that
on
was
duck.
nature, for all the PETA people out there, they're going to, crucify me for saying that duck is awesome. Sorry, I like duck, whatever.
Oh, I know. I've seen there's a type of bird called a shrike that impales its prey, and it's so beautiful and brutal, and they'll do like grasshoppers or lizards, and it's so weird until you know what's doing it.
And I love seeing stuff like that inspire artwork.
No.
And then people tattoo it on their bodies, which makes it even fucking cooler.
Well, some of those unsuspected moments, I think, live with us forever. You know, like that muskrat, you'll probably remember that.
I know, and I've told that story a couple times, and everybody's like, "That's fucking crazy."
I've
I'm like,
never
I got it
seen
all on my
that before.
GoPro too. It's so fucking crazy and cool. I felt bad for the duck, and at first I was like, "Fuck you, muskrat," and I'm like,
It's the circle.
it's the great circle of life, Simba. You know. So this is like a new season of kind of work that you're kind of leaning into right now. Like, is there anything in the future that you're really trying, like, with this going forward and everything? Are there any projects that you're wanting to take on with it, or like, you know, you want to do like a back piece of a muskrat eating a duck or anything like that?
I would love to. Anybody's story that's like, I saw this crazy thing. I guess I just want to get more of it out there. When I started at the studio, it's just, you know, I get to do my own thing. I schedule whatever, and I'm really trying to narrow it down to things I want to do more so, and just going through phases of drawing from nature and connecting with people like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. You can pick your clientele that way too.
Yeah.
Like there are people that want to talk about trees and stuff like that.
And like the crew that you guys have there at the studio, like, you guys are just killing it. I'm a huge fan of you guys. I've talked about you guys on almost every podcast, and I'm just like
Stop,
so
I didn't
honored
know
that you guys are here
Whatever.
and talk with me this weekend. But like, you know, you guys are it's so diverse with the work that you guys all do, and you all have such a identifiable like style and mark. I see a post that you make, I'm like, oh, that's badass, Kristen did it. And I look, I'm like, yep, she totally did that.
Thank you.
It's just, you guys have such a cool vibe going on, like the aesthetic of everything, and then how you guys like feed off each other, because it's like a private studio vibe, but then still like a like working shop vibe and everything too.
Well, Sydney and I, and now Kate there, and Angie, at least us, we worked so long in studios. Like, yeah, we're appointment only, but we still sit and bullshit before and after. And I feel like that's half the fucking fun.
Right.
So we definitely have a lot of fun there, and it is really cool. Like, building each other up is amazing. I'm really enjoying working with these new artists, you know.
So, like, any advice that you would give apprentices out there coming into the industry, seeing how like the industry has changed since you've started in your 10 years and like their direction it's going right now, what advice would you give apprentices, you know, say like the ones that want to come out of their apprenticeship and do like their own private studio, or anything that you got to say to an apprentice out there?
Well, when I was first an apprentice, I had to go to a convention and ask people, what would you tell an apprentice? And they're right. They said, dump your boyfriend and keep drawing, which is not entirely true, but don't let anybody fuck with your shit. Like, don't, like, art is something that nobody can take it away from you. So invest in it. Like, keep fucking working on it. Nobody's gonna give it to you. You're not entitled to fucking anything. So
fuck yeah.
I feel like, you know, it's cool when Sydney first hired me. It is an all-female studio, but I think she hired me not because I was a woman. It didn't intend to be an all-female studio. It's just,
it just worked out.
We were all the ones that vibed together, and nobody's gonna give it to you. So I feel like everything I've ever had to do that was worthwhile came as a direct result from like working, making your own. Like, I'm so glad you can tell my shit apart. I want it to stand out. I don't want it to look like everybody's, you know.
Right, and that's, you know, when you hit that mark, as an artist, when you hit that mark where you fall into your style and people start, you know, recognizing your stuff and like, oh man, that's Kristen's work and it's so dope. Like, look how she does this and that, you know. That has got to feel so freaking good. So, like, telling apprentices that you got to work for it and stuff, like, you know, we came from a time where you don't get shit handed to you.
Right.
You know, like there's not this entitlement. You don't get a participation award. You know, you got to work for it. But the reward is that.
It feels so good to know that, because then you can say nobody handed me this, and it feels better, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it is a really weird time to be a tattooer because social media is like crippling sometimes. Like, the art on there is so insane and it can be discouraging, and my own style only came from just like drawing a leaf 1,000 times. So it's like, now I know how to try a leaf. But it's fun and rewarding, and I don't think there's anything that gives me more like ambition in my life than trying to level up. I guess it feels amazing.
And you know, I was talking about seasons with Sydney and stuff. You know, as you master one thing, you go on to the next season and you add that, and it keeps building you, and you see the evolution in yourself, and you know your clients and other fellow artists see that evolution, and then when you reach that peak on your road where you hit like your opus, you take all these seasons from your career and from your life, and it all melds together into this beautiful thing. And I love seeing that in artists, because I've been following you for a while. I've seen your work evolve into what it is now, and it's fucking rad. And like you used to work with Leah and everything.
I love her.
I love her too. And
she's so inspiring in the best way. Like, I feel like when I see her do a dope piece, I'm like, fuck, I gotta do one. Like, I think it's not competition at all. It's just cool to like watch people that you've grown up with, like watching your stuff too. Like, it's fucking cool to know that there's artists out there that are pushing, like they're not jaded even after a decade, you know. And
I am a little bit, but it's more towards like people that, because I hold this industry so dear to my heart.
Yeah.
People that just think it's going to get handed to them. That's where my jaded kind of side comes. It's like, no, fuck off. You're not taking this from me.
I know, I get that too. Like, I was proud to chug that hot dog water and everything, but it's more fun that way. But, you know, it's weird to watch it even in the last 10 years. You know, it's only been 10. I know so many tattooers that have been tattooing 30, even more years. And it's interesting to hear what
Their
has
stories,
changed with that.
So like even in the 10 years, like even like equipment's changed a lot, you know, from coils to rotaries and, you know, their on bars, making needles to cartridges and stuff like that, you know. So even in 10 years is a fair, like sturdy amount of time.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of evolution just in that short amount of time.
Oh, for real. I mean, I'm glad I don't have to scrub tubes anymore. That
Oh my God,
sucks
yeah.
so bad.
Fuck, I hated that. How many times did you stab yourself with a little scrubby brush and like, oh fuck, I got MRSA now?
God, it was so fucked up. But it's still funny to think about. But yeah, and with like AI and the iPad, I don't know like what's gonna happen. Like,
So what are your thoughts on the AI right now?
It's so hard. I don't know what to think. It's like, I feel this weird like twinge of why did I bother? But then I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and it's worth having art for myself, so that's why I bothered. But it will be weird to see like how it affects our industry. I guess I'm not mad about it, but I hope it doesn't turn off artists from developing themselves.
Right, to actually sit and draw that leaf over and over again.
Knowing that there's a secret shortcut. I haven't messed with it yet, but I'm somewhat tempted. I'd like to improve like compositions and stuff like that, but I'm still gonna try to stay away from it for now. But it is tempting.
I messed around with it more so just like goofy stuff, like mashing up Harry Potter with Star Wars kind of stuff, just to see what it'd come up with. I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea that it took a robot brain to think of, but like, or because I don't like smoke weed or anything, I'm sure a pothead could have come up with that or so, you know. But I was talking with some other artists about their views on it, and for like realism guys, you know, because it's about recreating the image that's there, and like there's a lot of, you know, references out there for like, say like a St. Michael statue.
Right.
That same St. Michael has been
lion.
Yes, over and over and over again. Because all these artists out there are recreating from the same photo references.
Right.
So if AI can add more to the cookie jar, so there's more references to make that imagery of realism more dynamic, then I think that's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool.
Too. I just love the weirdo artists, and I hope it doesn't kill the weird. Like, when I walk around, I'm looking for like weird stuff, I guess, like, you know?
Do you follow Mash Cow?
Yes.
I love his stuff, and he always does like tattoos on the faces and stuff.
Those ones are fucking cool.
I saw the Barbie one, and that was so fucking cool.
I don't know if I saw that one. He has some awesome stuff. So I guess I don't sound so, I hope it doesn't kill our creativity. Like why are robots going to take the only thing we love? Like,
dude, you know what's crazy is I got home from the convention last night and my son was watching Terminator and now we're talking about this. I'm like, okay, maybe, so we'll put this out there. Let's throw it out in the ether that like if AI starts getting a little too fucking touchy-feely on our tattoo industry, we're all going to band together and shut it down.
Oh my God, you're going to be hateful. You're going to be like, oh, robots can't tattoo? Robots aren't allowed? Like, there's cyborgs in here and we're like, treat them like second-class citizens.
I know, and then like, I feel like we're going to turn into like Will Smith movies or something like that, you know? And you got Sonny sitting there like, oh, you're right, detective, I can't draw a beautiful picture. And then he busts out fucking Harry Potter and Star Wars kind of shit.
I love that cursed AI, though. It's always like, like lava eating contests or like it's so weird, but
But you know what's cool though is AI can still relate to me because I can't draw hands worth of shit, and neither can
no,
fucking
me
AI.
neither. I always just put them behind their head.
I know, like holding a shield or like doing the sexy pose, putting headphones on or something, you know, like
You gotta cut
in the
as many
pockets.
fingers out as
Yeah,
possible.
oh yeah. I'm just like, fuck, I'm doing all my shit emo looking, head down, hands in the pockets, you know, fuck drawing hands.
I mean, maybe that's your next season. Maybe we should buckle down. and
Buckle
get it.
down, just so then we can teach AI how to draw hands. Be like, listen here, AI.
Kind
This
of
is how
like
you
the
do it.
extra fingers. Like it's scary.
I
when
know,
they
it's like,
have,
I saw one, it looked like it had like a broken chicken wing hand kind of, and it was weird, and I was like, but now I'm looking at it, and it kind of reminds me, like that, seeing that in itself was almost inspiring of like some kind of weird freak show shit for me,
Yeah,
you know, like,
right.
like the oddities, deformities, and things like that, which I'm into weird shit like that.
big time.
So that was kind of inspiring. So I'm like, okay, maybe it has its purpose. Maybe
Yeah.
it does, or maybe it can fuck off. I don't know.
I like it too. It'll be interesting. I'm hanging back for now, but you never like think about how weird it was when the internet first hit the scene. You're just gonna not
I
use
know.
the internet. I don't want
Right.
to get like left behind.
And now, you know, if you're not relevant on Instagram or whatnot, then nobody knows about you or whatever. So,
Right. Yeah.
and I'm trying to do so better at posting. And like I started this podcast, and this has actually helped me because when I give my word on something like, hey, a new episode's coming out or whatnot, I try and stick by that. And that has got me in the habit of posting. So I'm trying to transition that into my own self-discipline of posting more of my work.
Yeah.
But then I see people like you posting their stuff. I'm like, I don't want to show anybody my shit.
Oh, stop. I feel that way too. It's a never ending. You're never gonna, I don't know. I feel like it's important to not give a fuck. I don't know.
I think it is. You know,
But posting is hard consistently, but
Angie told me yesterday, because I was saying something like that to her, she's like, you know what? Even if 100 people hate it, there's somebody out there that's going to love it. And
Hell yeah.
if you touch one person with your art, then that's what it's all about.
hell yeah. Man, I've been working with Angie for most of my career. She's a boss ass bitch. I'm glad that she also
Did you
encouraged
see that geisha on the
Sickening,
side?
the light source.
The lights are coming through that fan and like casting the light on the face and on
love
like the
it. I
chest,
love
neck
it
area.
so
Oh my
much.
God, it's such a beautiful piece.
No, I love
She
her.
nailed it, man.
Love her.
So, how can everybody that's listening here on the podcast find you out there on social media and everything?
I'm on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. It's Kristen Prosser Tattoo, KristenProsser Tattoo. But I'm just on there. I'm not a fancy Instagrammer either, but I'm trying to post, so come check it out.
I'll put some links so everybody can find you. And, you know, if you get some more followers, it's my fault.
Hell yes. Take what I can get.
Dude, thank you so much for being here and
Thank
coming
you so
and chat
much.
with me.
This was so fun.
Go enjoy the rest of the show, and we'll
I
catch up
will.
later, dude.
Thanks, Gabe.
No problem. Take it easy. Thanks for being on the Inkwell.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Let's go! I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test.